Hello, my fellow Americans. I'm Dr. Stephen Clark Bradley, and this is what I think. This is part 3 of the series on the Transition Integrity Project, which is a project that is based on treason, seeking to prevent Donald Trump from winning the election or even taking power if he wins the election. I should say when he wins the election. And we stopped at the last one on the war games that we were talking about, number 3. And I concluded talking about how they were going to use the media to blind him and to make him deaf so he can't communicate with anyone, not his friends or his enemies alike. And that the social media would suspend all his accounts. That's already been happening too. Look how Twitter has been treating him, putting rules on him that they put on nobody else, and also on other Trump supporters, his children, us, and trying to stop us from communicating on Twitter. I recommend you go to Parler. Parler is 1,000,000,000 times better and a lot more fun, and you can communicate better. Anyway, that's a side note. I digress. But look here now. I mean, think about it. That's already happening. Donald Trump has been nominated for two wonderful peace awards, the Nobel Peace Prize. 2 different ones have been nominated for him. And of course on Fox, it's been spoken of, I'd say very fairly, to be fair to Fox. They have even amazed and almost praised him for it. And he should be praised because he got the deal done with the UAE and Israel, and then Kosovo and Serbia, and now the Bahrain and Israel. So he's been nominated for 2 Nobel Peace Prizes. Fox reported it, but not even 1 second was reported on any other news site, such as CNN, MSNBC, none of them. They're already blocking him. So when this happens, and that he starts fighting back when he sees that cheating is going on, they won't let him fight his argument. They won't let him make his plea. They won't let him have his day in court with the American people because they'll block him and he'll have no way of communicating. He'll have Parler. Parler is a really great site, and there are others too. But the main media, it will definitely be a tremendous jolt on his political system and on his system of communication. The only reason he does Twitter is because he knows he cannot get his message out any other way except negatively. So they'll still report on him negatively, but they won't allow anything positively come out about him, and they won't allow him to say anything on the news media as well, social media nor mainstream media. And I hate that word mainstream. It kind of gives an idea of normal. They're not normal. They're right arms of the Democrat-Socialist Party, but it will be blocked from him at the President of the United States. Hard to believe. And that's coming in a few weeks, and it's already starting. Think about that. War Game 4. Biden wins a narrow victory. Okay? Maybe 1%. He's got like 278, this is the way they laid it out, 278 electoral votes. But, that's very close. And, of course, at that moment, Biden wants all counting to stop. But Trump wants all counting to continue. And when he starts trying to get it continue, he has no way of fighting his battle because the media is cut off from him. So even if he can prove that he's the victor, he won't be able to. And he'll look like he's complaining instead of actually trying to prove what's right and what's true and what's honest. And they will fight back. And so these are the basic points that what they're saying, the possible scenarios. A, Donald Trump loses and leaves office. That's the normal. Okay? Trump wins clearly and is still out of office because they're trying to make the people believe that he cheated when absolutely they cheated. C, Trump wins like 2016 in the Electoral College, but they say that it's not a real election because he didn't win in the popular vote. and that they want to continue counting and adding ballots that were submitted after the deadline. And D, he loses the popular vote and is forced from office. That's what they're trying to do. So these are the things that not only are they seeking to do it, but in every situation, the very end of it, Biden becomes inaugurated president of the United States. So this is a very frightening scenario that is going on. You say, but the president runs the country. Don't be fooled. The deep state does not think the president runs the country. The deep state thinks they run the country. I mean, there are situations that we can point out here that can show that those who are unelected, never been elected to an office, appointed people, think they run the country. There's reports that General Mattis, Donald Trump's first Secretary of Defense, actually contacted the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, to try to get them to come together as a cabinet and to vote Donald Trump out of office because he didn't want to fight war in Syria. Can you believe that? Yeah. Didn't happen, but it could happen. They think they run the office. They don't think the president does. And they think that they can also run us out. They see the president as a figurehead, a necessary evil, which also gives you a good idea of why they chose Joe Biden for the candidate of a major party for president of the United States. If Joe Biden can get elected, he won't do anything. He'll be sitting at his desk waiting for his pudding cup every day. He won't have any voice. Kamala Harris will be the president. That's a scary thought. Very scary thought. And she's treasonous as well. She doesn't care about the country. She doesn't care about you. She cares about power. Only power. Joe Biden does too. But they won't do anything for us. So they chose Joe Biden because he can be a figurehead. And then they can go back and reinstall everything that they did during the Obama administration, when the Obama administration could control everything and eventually wipe out the Constitution and eventually take over from the deep state. The deep state today is called deep state, but in the old days, it was called the military industrial complex. Yeah, because it actually is maneuvered and controlled through the Pentagon. And it's the power of that department that is the power behind the deep state. Because already, when we saw that we were having all these riots going on in the street, the President of the United States stated that he was possibly thinking of invoking the Insurrection Act, which would give him the ability to federalize the National Guard, use the military to set these cities, these Democrat-run cities that were burning down buildings, killing police officers, blowing up buildings, to be able to put them in a good order and to stop the mayhem. When he spoke that, Mark Esper, the current Secretary of Defense, went to the president and he said, "No, Mr. President, I will not do that. If we do that, we know what comes next." He didn't say what comes next. What do you think comes next? It means they throw the president out of office. He actually told the president no. Because these guys, when it comes to the point of keeping the president or doing what they're told, they'll commit treason. They'll commit a coup d'etat, and the military will take over. Mark Esper already said so. He already said it would happen. He already said they would do it. So we should not be surprised. We should not be surprised at all. These things are out there, and the rioting is there for a purpose, and it's there for a reason, and it's the last resort of treason for the Transition Integrity Project. They will use mayhem, and there was a secret meeting that was leaked in which they actually said that the mayhem that we see in the streets right now, which is just a taste, a precursor of what they have planned if Donald Trump wins the election and plans on taking on a second administration, that they will flood the streets with death, mayhem, fire, destruction, to the point where the people can no longer maintain a normal civil life and will relent and give up Donald Trump. I think they're wrong. Would you do that? Would you? I wouldn't. As I said before, if America's worth living for, America's worth dying for. And I won't give up my president, not because it's Donald Trump, but because he's a great man and he's done well for us. And we won't give it up. Recently, two different soldiers have wrote a letter to General Milley, who is the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And in that, these two soldiers wrote a letter telling him that he needed to plan on taking Donald Trump out of the Oval Office on January 20th at 12:01 in 2021, when Joe Biden is inaugurated president, to drag him out. Unbelievable. The things that they're planning are called color revolution. Color revolutions are usually used, color revolutions are usually used in foreign countries for undesirable regimes to be able to go there and foment terror, foment bedlam, foment problems, so that the people finally will be willing to give up their president, a duly democratically elected president, and then it will be said by those who committed the treason that it was done to save democracy. Believe me, can't you hear those words already from the Democrats? I can hear it. Oh, we did this we committed an undemocratic action for a democratic purpose. That's called a color revolution. These things are exactly what has already taken place against Donald Trump. One color revolution was the Mueller investigation. Didn't work. Another color revolution was the Ukrainian impeachment. Didn't work. And they're trying many others right now, like saying that Donald Trump called our soldiers losers and suckers. That's also part of it. But what they plan on doing is shoving people out into the streets. Black Lives Matter is a fully engaged part of the plot to destroy the second Trump revolution. Donald Trump has said if it happens after he's reelected, and if someone like Norm Eisman, who's the one that led all the color revolutions against Trump so far, will seek and will start sending out his evil troops into the street to burn, to maim, to kill, and it will be like 20 times worse than we've already seen. Better get ready for it. I'm telling you this now so you can be ready for it when it happens. This is coming soon to a city near you and me. So these people are, including the military, are willing to turn on our president because they don't like that he doesn't give them all the power they want, that he limits them. He's not into war. He's into peace. He's into putting America first. And they will fight. We're going to have one more video after this one, in which we're going to wrap this all up, in which I'm going to give you a challenge, not only for you to get out and vote, but to get your neighbors, your friends, and those who are on the fence to try to persuade them, not just to elect Donald Trump because we love him, and I do, but to save our country. And he's the only one willing to do so. Are you willing to save your country? Here's your chance. Be a hero. Be a patriot. Get as many people to vote for Donald Trump as possible. Otherwise, our nation is dead, and we may never come back from the abyss. God bless you all.